Hi, I'm Susan,
I'm Jim.
and we want to welcome you to Managing Life 101, where if you don't manage your life, what happens?
Life will manage you big
It will
time.
totally manage you.
Manage you right off the road.
It possibly could manage you into the deep end.
Into the ditch.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
can.
It can. But so we want to talk about something that can help you avoid getting into the ditch and a lot of ruts so you don't have to have a bumpy ride.
Mm-hmm.
And in one of our earlier podcasts, we had talked about, we had mentioned communication and how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
It's important in your own life, in your personal life, in your professional life, definitely in our married life. Is
Big
it
time.
important? I think it's
Big
that
time in
and
married
God
life.
are
Yeah.
the two, successes to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're going to talk about today, it's beautiful out, actually. I get my days mixed up. Is it day, night, whatever?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Is communication. We have taught a communication class over the years in various ways as a workshop in a course that we've put together. And I want to tell you a little bit about what that looks like. So, you're going to see I have my little piece of paper here because this is some of my cheat sheet, my little notes. It's 8 keys to effective communication, and what it is it's a tool and it's a technique that helps you turn your adversaries into your allies. It also helps you not stay stuck in the story, but immediately go to solution.
Sure.
That's what it does. So the first key is exercising self-responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And there's really multiple parts about that. And exercising self-responsibility, first of all, is you are exercising it when you act in your own best interest, having considered your wants and goals, the short-term and long-term effect of your decision, and how it's going to affect others around you, those close to you. You also want to communicate your intentions and your goals and your feelings, and you do not blame others or hold them responsible for your feelings. That is a biggie. That is a biggie.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that's really important about all of this is you want to know what your own personal value system is.
Mm-hmm.
I call it OPVS, your own personal value system. So you want to think about what are the values that you have in your life that really are important to you. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to live your life in a way that's supporting those values. And you want to be able to communicate what those values are through your actions, through your intentions, through your wants, your goals, all those items. So we had talked earlier too about CPA when we did our 9 stepping stones to making a great life. CPA, create, promote, or allow 99% of what happens to us.
That's right.
And we're also not mind readers, which is really an important thing about communication. Because if you don't communicate with somebody, then all of a sudden somebody might think something else is going on, but you haven't communicated what's going on.
Sure.
So you're mind readers, right? Well, we're not mind readers.
Yeah, I know.
We don't. And here's another biggie, which was part of the 9 stepping stones, is we don't blame, complain, or explain.
Yeah.
And then we teach people how to treat us.
Sure.
Through our communication, our words, our actions, and how we're expressing ourselves, we're really teaching people how to communicate with us. So I know there's some things that you wanted to talk about just as we outline this first thing about exercising self-responsibility.
Yeah, this afternoon, I mean, this could be a typical scenario in anybody's life.
That's good.
We had our AC unit replaced, and yesterday you remarked that you had it set to 76 and it was at 78.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, that's not a good sign. And then today it was 81.
Yeah.
And so I said it's not working.
Yeah.
And which is frustrating because we paid a lot of money to have it fixed or have it replaced.
Yeah.
But I also know the guys that did it, and they're good guys. They're not going to screw up intentionally. So I remained calm. You know, I had enough presence of mind to say, okay, let's just check the breaker box. Maybe there's a breaker that's tripped and we need to reset it. And so I did that, and there was no breakers to reset. So then I called them, and they're already gone for the day. And one of the guys answered, and when I told him who I was and what was going on, he said, "Do you want me to come out now?" And I said, no need, because, I mean, there's nobody upstairs, and you come tomorrow. And he thanked me, and he was very polite, as they always are, and it was good.
Yeah.
That was a bit frustrating, but I remained calm throughout. Then the clock wasn't chiming upstairs. And I know that you had set the clock to chime.
Yeah.
And
I
it
turned the
wasn't,
chimes on.
and it wasn't chiming. So I walked over to it, because I was upstairs anyway,
Yeah.
checking on the AC, and I see the clock has stopped. And then immediately the question came to my mind, what did she do? What did she do? Because you know why? Because my dad would say that to me. Like if something wasn't working or not right, he'd say, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
You know, attitude, and you're immediately put on the defensive. So I immediately recognized that, because I know myself pretty well by now. And I just thought she didn't do anything. She moved a little lever to chime, and it's not chiming.
Exactly.
So I did it again. I reset the chimes, and then it started to work. And but it wasn't chiming with the correct time. So I took the nut off to reset the hand so it'll be the right time for the right chime. And I'm loving it right now. And then I dropped the nut, which is the size of a head of a pin, into this thick shag carpet. And I just thought, wonderful, wonderful. And then I called, hey babe.
Yeah.
And she's not, and I didn't, when I called hey babe, I led with attitude. Babe. Hey babe.
He did.
Not
I
like,
must admit he did.
hey babe, can you help me?
Yeah.
No, it was like, hey babe. I mean, like, yes. And I knew it at the time. I knew it, and I just thought, get a hold of yourself, pal. And I just said, I dropped this little nut. Maybe your eyes are better than mine. Well, not maybe, they are. Maybe you can find it. So then I thought, we need a flashlight.
Yeah.
And I said, is there a flashlight up here? And you said, no. And then I thought, why isn't there a flashlight up here? Attitude, again, attitude.
Our thoughts.
So then, but I didn't react, I didn't do anything, I just was thinking it. And then I went downstairs and got the flashlight, and in the meantime, you find the little nut.
Yeah.
You find the little nut, and then I put it back on very gingerly, and now the chimes are not working, They weren't, and then I moved them around again, and they just chimed a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And
they might go off while we're talking.
And we sat in the living room, we talked about that.
Yes.
Because I led with attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude preceded my communication, verbiage, and voice. And of course, she felt that. She had done nothing. She didn't do anything to warrant bad attitude, shortness in speech, none of that. And because that put her on the defensive for zero reason. I mean, she had no reason to be on the defensive.
Yeah.
I had no reason to talk to her like that, other than my own frustration. So we were talking about it here, and we knew we were going to film this, and Jake arrived, and Jake's the man. I mean, Jake is the man.
He is our guy.
And so then I grabbed Susan's hand, and I said to myself, I'm going to take her hand, and we're going to pray. And so I took her hand, then Jake came out, and he joined hands. And I said, dear Lord, send your peace to us.
Yeah.
Give us your peace. And did I make amends for my attitude
Yes.
to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You did.
because, I don't want to be like that. It's not fun.
Mhm.
It's not fun. We accomplished what we were going to accomplish, but you want to do it in a nice way.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have
Mhm.
attitude.
Mhm.
And I tell you, the prayer part
Yeah.
works 100% of the time.
Always.
Because by the time we sat down here,
Yeah.
we're good.
It's all good.
We're good.
I mean, this all happened seriously in the moment of like 15 minutes
Yeah.
max.
Yeah.
And, I didn't respond with like attitude because, I've lived with him long enough. I
Mhm.
know that he's not intentional in this. And it passes. And it wasn't, we bring up these little things so that you can see that just the little things, you address the little things.
Mhm.
Because you see, if we didn't address that,
Yeah.
and this could be whether you're in a marriage, whether you're at work, whether you're with a friend, your parent, whatever. If you don't address these little things,
Yeah.
if you're not exercising self-responsibility,
That's right.
which is what you did to address this,
I did.
then that little stuff builds up.
Mhm.
And before you know it, he might call me, hey babe, in the attitude way sometime,
Mhm.
and I might come out swinging.
Sure. Sure.
Which I never have, and
Verbally.
I never want to.
Verbally
Yeah,
swinging.
verbally. And I never want to, I never have, because we talk about this stuff. We really do.
30 plus years, we've never raised our voice
No,
to one another.
No.
Never said a bad word.
no.
I haven't even thought it. And it's because we started off using these rules.
Yep.
Not rules so much,
They're
just
really keys. They're keys.
keys to communication
Yeah.
from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And we were also very much open and working on ourselves as individuals to be better people
Oh, absolutely.
before we
Absolutely.
met.
Yeah.
Before we met.
Individually, yes.
So when we came together, and Susan already had this under her belt, and then brought it to me, yeah, I'm all in on that.
Yeah.
I don't know who would not be.
Exactly. It just makes life so much more enjoyable.
It does.
The bottom line is I want to have a good life. I want to feel good. I want to have peace in my life. I want to have fun and laughter. And, there are times like, as Jim said, we've never yelled at each other. Now, we've been upset with each other.
Sure.
And we have had disagreements with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, that's what happens in life.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But we have never, ever gone to bed mad at each other.
No.
Neither one of us have ever packed up our things and said, I'm out of here. Never have.
No.
Never will.
Yeah.
And, it really is about these keys. Take self-responsibility. We are every single person is a unique combination of ununique feelings and thoughts.
Right.
But they're only packaged in a unique way, just like God gave us each. Our fingerprints are all individual.
Yeah.
So are our behaviors, and it's tone, it's facial expressions. It is a sense of attitude. Do you know that it's over 70% of communication is nonverbal?
Oh,
it's huge.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
It's huge. So, whenever you're exchanging information, that's what it is. We're communicating.
Yeah.
We're communicating with each other.
The thing that is, we related simple, everyday stuff that happens to absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
The circumstances are, the technicalities are different, but the feelings and the reactions and are the same.
Right.
And the frustrations are the same.
Right.
And managing your emotions, which is 95% managing your life.
Yes.
Managing your emotions is something we've learned to do. And that scope of feelings that is also part of this.
Yes.
Is when I first read the scope of feelings, and it had mild feelings, more heavy duty feelings.
Yeah, mild, moderate, extreme.
Mild, moderate, extreme. It also, not at all, but 95% of it starts with frustration. In whatever form or fashion.
Yeah.
Frustration. And then that's a trigger point that if you say to yourself, okay, yep, I'm frustrated, but it's not going to control me.
Mm.
I'm just going to work into the solution right now.
Yeah. Well,
You
see,
know?
that's the big part, is to be able to catch yourself. And I know for myself, before we came together, I had gone through this course like a few months into my sobriety.
Yeah.
So I
And
had
she
been,
was
I had been
5 years sober.
I was 5 years sober, so I had already, this is like, I took it as a mindset, that I was putting this as a mindset into my life, of the way that I wanted to be able to have healthy relationships.
Yeah,
And I knew to do that, you had to be able to communicate about things.
yeah,
Because in my family, we didn't communicate. There was either yelling and screaming, or don't really say what you really mean, because somebody might get all pissed off about it.
yeah,
So anyhow, but you talked about exploring the scope of feelings, which is great, because that's the second key, to effective communication.
yeah,
Because there is a myriad of feelings.
there is.
And there is this whole feelings page, which we include in our course. And we could always, if anybody was ever interested in it, you could just message us and we could certainly send it to you.
Yeah.
Because it is phenomenal that there is more than just happy and sad, angry and mad. There are a lot of different feelings.
Well, I mean, in the old days, my old life, it was like situation, anger.
Yeah, yeah.
Like really,
True.
really, situation, immediate anger.
Yeah.
And that's not way to live. I mean, it's my life is managing me at that point.
Yes.
My emotions are managing me.
Right.
And anger feeds on itself.
Right.
I'm angry about this. Oh, look at that. I'm angry about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little animal that wants to eat, and it's so self-fulfilling in a way to be angry about stuff and then be angry about this and angry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you just can't feed it.
No.
And it's so interesting, because you can actually have more than one feeling at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, so it's understanding that. And feelings can be contradictory feelings. Which
Explain that.
Well, because you could feel happy about something, but yet really irritated at the same time. And you could have, there's a physical feeling, and physical feelings give you information about your bodies and what's going on with you physically. And then there's emotional feelings, and they give you, an understanding and an indicator of what's happening psychologically with you. So, and to have them both at the same time can be contradictory, and that sometimes can be confusing.
Sure.
Because you can't really pinpoint, what are you feeling? What's really going on with me? So those are things that you have to really, hone in on. And we can't go into all the details, but that's just information that we will hone into as time goes by in these podcasts.
I know that many, 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 many years ago, I heard a guy say, if you can't successfully manage your emotions, you'll never be successful in living.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how
It's
much
true.
money you have. Success doesn't have anything to do with money.
No.
Money just affords different things. But if you can't successfully manage your emotions, you'll never really have a truly successful life.
And that's so true.
And
because it keeps you bound in yourself. It's like the bondage of self.
Totally.
When you're like that.
Yeah.
And also, the fact is that feelings, they're an indicator of where you're at, what's going on right where you're at. And they also they're not to be censored or judged. I remember when Jim and I, when we first got married, we went on this trip. And we went to Hawaii, a really beautiful place that we went. And we loved to go to the spa whenever we travel. So we went to the spa and we got a massage. And I had, as we were walking out and checking out, and you said, do you want to have another massage? I said, yeah, absolutely, it'd be wonderful. So I said, well, I'll book with Hans. I don't even remember, but I know it was a male masseur, right? And you had a female therapist. And we get out and we exit, and you looked at me and you said, I'd really prefer that you not have a male massage therapist.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Now, I did not judge him for that. I didn't question him. I didn't say, oh, that's silly. Nothing. I immediately said, oh, no problem. And we turned around, went right back in, and I said to the gal at the desk, I said, I'd like to change that, and I'd like to request a female massage therapist.
Yeah.
And ever since then, the whole 30 years plus of our marriage, we've always had female massage therapists, because I know it's important to you.
Yeah.
I never asked you to explain that.
No.
I never said that, oh, that's silly, what, I'm just getting a massage. None of that, ever.
I have to say that meant so much to me that day, that, of course, I never forgot it. She totally had my back.
Yes.
She did not ridicule me. She did not place me on the defensive. And I appreciated that so much. And so we've operated in that way ever since. If something's really important to her, or even moderately important to her, and I don't want to do it, but she does, I'll do it.
Yeah.
We have each other's back.
Yes.
And that's such a super duper feeling to know that you have a partner.
Yes, it is.
That has your back 100%. And meant the world to me.
Yeah.
So
that's why I love,
that.
you're so welcome, honey. And that's why I love doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
Because, just what you talked about at the beginning, how you felt that frustration was going on, and I sensed it. But here it is, it's not even like 25 minutes after that happened.
Yeah.
And it's no biggie. I mean, it wasn't even a biggie when we talked about it. But these are the things in life that will make or break you.
Yeah.
They really will.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to wrap it up with here, and then we'll step into 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. We'll get these keys going, but these first two, just for this one, is that in this scope of feelings, which is so fascinating to me, there's a couple other things that are really good. One thing is, you cannot change what you do not acknowledge.
That's true.
And I have to credit Dr. Phil with that, because I heard him say it years ago. You cannot change what you do not acknowledge. So the takeaways from that are that you can have more than one feeling at a time. All right. Some feelings may be contradictory, and we can go into more depth about that. Feelings are an indicator of where you're at.
Sure.
All right. And they're not like, good, bad, or indifferent. They just are. And here's the deal. You're not responsible for your feelings. What you are responsible for, which is put this on as like the little light bulb part, is how you behave. You're responsible for your behavior.
That's a big one, yeah.
That's
true.
Huge.
That's true.
Because you can feel that way inside, but it's your self-talk that will counteract you responding in a way, because you do want to respond. You don't want to react. And then, one thing that we'll just wrap it with, I know I said we'd wrap it before, but we're really going to wrap it now, all right?
Okay.
Is reality check.
Yeah, the reality check.
To do a reality check. Yeah. A reality check is saying, I'm sensing that there's some irritation and agitation going on. So this is what I heard, and this is what I felt. Is that really what's going on?
Sure.
And then, is it anything that I've done?
Yeah.
And then you can respond, or whoever you're talking to, it gives them an opportunity to say, oh, it has nothing to do with you, because we'll do this with each other.
Yeah. And with friends.
And with friends, because people can just have, you're not always going to be happy, joyous, and free. Majority of the time you can be. It's really pretty much. But you're not always going to be. So the reality check, not to discount. And so what we're saying here is, first of all, exercise self-responsibility, key number 1. And key number 2 is there is a scope of feelings that is more than just good or bad.
That's true.
Okay? So we want to remind you that these are all tools, techniques, and little keys that we jingle and work on a regular basis so that we manage life. We manage our lives 101, and we do not let life manage us. So signing off, bye-bye.
Bye now.